Welcome to episode 58 of the Total Hockey Training Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Scahan. And I want to get back on the podcasting, and I'll tell you why. I was busy getting the gym started for the summer, and I've been really busy training athletes, which is great. Had some things planned last couple weekends, and I thought to myself initially, I don't have time for this, but some people were like, hey, where's the next episode? Which is awesome. And so we all have enough time. We all have enough time for things. And I'm going to make it a priority to try to record a podcast at least every other week, maybe more. And I do plan on having guests coming back on. I've been putting some feelers out and some good ones, by the way, and you'll enjoy them. So, this topic is going to be more of random thoughts, and I want to talk about confidence as well. But I want to get into the random thoughts here. And so, what we've been up to recently, the gym, we just finished week 4 of our summer program. It's going unbelievable. I think we have a 40% growth rate from last summer. More kids, more kids coming back, and it's been fantastic. I love getting these calls from parents who tell me that their kids look miraculously better on the ice, which is cool. I got a text the other night. A dad told me, hey, thank you very much. And I said, what for? He's like, well, my son just beat me in an arm wrestling match. So that's pretty cool. I love that stuff. I love it. It's what I'm passionate about. And the kids that show up every day put in the work, and it's been a lot of fun. Got to take the boys to Boston last weekend for 4th of July. Happened to be on a Friday. We don't train on Fridays, so we left Thursday night. Will met us there from Utah, actually. Had a great time. Just hanging out with my family, my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, and seeing my close friends, like my foxhole guys that I grew up with, and I still maintain close relationships with, and they're my best friends for a reason. Just a great weekend. Went by too fast, and we were back in the gym on Monday. So I'm going to do more of these podcasts. Also, Skahan Sports Conditioning will be opening up another facility, and we will be opening up another facility in Woodbury, Minnesota, tentatively in August, and that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of kids in Woodbury that need good training. It's a really big hockey town, and I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun growing the business, growing the brand more work, but that's what I want to do. I want to impact more kids and families' lives by helping them achieve their goals. So stay tuned for that. Okay, random thoughts here. One thing you can tell that I'm wearing a hat on the video version of this, and it makes me think something really random. I've been meeting a lot of people recently who've told me that they knew someone, a man, that went to Turkey to get hair implants. Now, I'm wearing the hat. I'm not afraid to admit I have a bald spot or maybe more like a planet back there. And I'm not wearing the hat to cover that. I really don't care. But I got a question. Why do people go to Turkey to get hair implants? Does anyone know that? If you watch this and you have an answer for that, please let me know. I've heard, I think, 3 or 4 situations where men have gone to Turkey for hair implants. And I don't know, if I'm going to Turkey, it's probably going to be a vacation. I can't imagine getting hair implants, one, but two, going to Turkey. Hey, people that get hair implants, all the best. I mean, I know some, they look great, they look fantastic, but I don't know if that's for me. I don't know. It's just a lot of strength and conditioning coaches who are successful, they're actually bald. So maybe I'm heading that way. Well, I'm definitely heading that way, but I'm going to keep the front going as long as I can. So, yeah, that's really random. So we got hair implant talks, and we got Woodbury opening up soon, and an awesome trip to Boston, and the summer's going great. I do want to get into something in regards to strength and conditioning, and I get it. There are times when you need to miss workouts. And I look at it like, okay, you got invited to USA National 16 U camp. You got to go. USA National 17 U camp. You got to go. NHL prospect development camps. You better go. But what I'm seeing now is kids kids missing workouts for scrimmages or these other skating sessions. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating because I am all about consistency, and showing up every day is the key to having success. If you want to have success when it counts, which is the hockey season, not in July. So I get it. If you're invited to something, when I say invited to, I think it's important that a lot of kids get invited to junior camps, which is great. I think it's fantastic. But if you're responding to an email list to go to a camp instead of a GM or a coach calling you individually and inviting you and letting you know like what your chances are, if you're responding to those emails and going, you're all you're doing is supporting the team that you're quote trying out for. You're supporting them in their annual budget on a yearly basis. So more importantly, you know, there's these camps that kids go to and they miss a lot of training for. So I always tell kids, pick one camp that you have a legit chance of going and making an impact and making that team for, versus just being a filler and helping them pay their bus trips and their food during the year. I hate to say that, but that's reality, and I get it. Like if you're running those teams, you need to have money to support your athletes, and so don't miss training. Don't miss training for stupid stuff. How about that? That's the point of that. So I want to wrap that one up. And today I want to talk about what I want to talk about is confidence. And I think confidence is something that you always have to work on. You aren't born with confidence. Let's put it that way. I'll just talk about myself real quick. I was a shy introvert kid. I low self-esteem, low self-confidence. I mean, I can remember back in elementary school, we would actually read out loud like down the rows in I think sixth grade, and we'd all take a turn reading a chapter. I couldn't get the words out of my mouth when it was time to read. And people would make fun of me and say I stuttered, but I didn't even stutter. I didn't even stutter because I couldn't get the words out of my mouth. And so it's for me when I meet these kids who have maybe a speech impediment or a stutter, like I can relate to that. I remember that, especially the part of getting made fun of, but there was nothing worse than that split second or two right before it was my time to read and couldn't get the words out of my mouth. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I remember like examples of my insecurities and lack of self-confidence. I can remember, I think I had a quote girlfriend back in probably seventh or eighth grade that I would talk to her on the phone every night, but I would never approach her during school hours. So I just remember stuff like that. And it's like, obviously I grew from all those experiences. I spoke in front of people, hundreds of people a few times now. Um, I remember being nervous in front of my first group in the NHL or even college hockey. And I'm obviously running groups now, and I can see it where running the groups I do now, it's easy peasy. But my interns, I can see them getting a little nervous. And it's like, for me now, it's like, what are they nervous about? Well, I get it. I was there. And what I'm saying is you have to work at it all the time. You have to have confidence. And a couple of years ago, I would never turn a computer on, put headphones on, and talk into the camera. I was scared shitless. I was scared about what would people think of me. People would judge me. Maybe they wouldn't like me. They would, I don't know, say it was boring and or something like that. But I don't care. I don't care. I just do it. I think the information I provide is beneficial. So hopefully you check this out. But you will always work on your confidence. And when I see it in sport, I was having a conversation with a parent the other day, actually. Strength and conditioning can enhance your confidence. No question. You feel stronger, you feel faster. You're going to feel more confident when you're on the ice or court against your peers. But you have to always work at it. You have to believe, you have to know. And I also think confidence is taking risks. Taking risks. And alluding to myself here, like I took a big risk starting Skahan Sports. Huge risk. I didn't know if I would get clients in the door, but we did. And it's growing, and that's a lot of fun. And now I would take another risk by opening up another facility. And some would say, yeah, well, that's probably not a good idea, but I want to take that risk. I want to try to grow our brand and continue to be the best hockey strength and conditioning facility in Minnesota. So how am I going to do that? We're going to expand. So that's a risk that I'm willing to take. And you have to have the same belief in sports. Maybe you're trying to go around someone one on one. You're going to try a move that you've practiced over and over again, but you got to have the grit, determination to do it in a game situation, stuff like that. Or maybe it's talking to people. Maybe you're shy, you're introverted. Maybe you have to practice at talking to people, looking them in the eye, shaking their hand. And that's confidence. It's something you work on. And it's something that can carry over and over again when you meet other people. And you have it in you to do it. And that's just habits and repetition, and it's practice. So confidence is something you always have to work on and do the things that scare you. And you do that, you get used to doing that more and more. Then you're living in a world of growth. You're growing, a growth of determination of living a growth-based lifestyle, not fixed-based. And that's confidence, doing hard things over and over and over again so that you get used to doing it and expanding yourself to do those things. You only get more confident over time because you're doing different and harder things as you continue to grow and evolve. So that being said, I'm going to go back to doing these. I love doing these. Hopefully you get some information out of it. Please like and subscribe. We're across all platforms. And yes, Total Hockey Training online is going on still. It is awesome. I tried the school games and I realized that why don't I just build a community within my platform? And I'm doing that. So I post a lot of videos. I communicate with them all the time. I'm always available for individual questions. I've had calls with clients. And it's the same program that we do at Skahan Sports in Minnesota. And we can make individual modifications as necessary. But if you're an athlete, you're watching this, you want to train with me online, the link's in the bio. And yeah, I'm going to drop this today. I'm also going to post my clips of this episode after I release it. I'm going to try that, see if there's more traction. And we'll see you next time. Everyone have a great day, and thanks for listening.